Good evening, everyone. I'm Nick Lefebvre.
And I'm Juliette Dragas. Your cell phone's location data could help law enforcement solve crimes with something called geofence warrants.
It's another useful tool in law enforcement's investigative box. But 13 on your side's Carla Byron dug into why this cutting-edge method is so controversial.
If you have a phone with Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, or Google, your phone is constantly looking to save your location and share it with the company. A law enforcement agency may be interested in that data if they think it'll be helpful in solving a crime. So they can ask a judge to execute what's called a geofence warrant.
It's a search warrant, not for a particular person, but to a Google or an Apple saying, this is a geographic region, say a city block, and a date and time. And we would like to know if you have any users that were in that location on that date and time, and if so, provide their information.
Let's give a hypothetical situation, say a string of strong-armed robberies. Police know it's the same suspect and method, but they don't know who that person is.
You could do a geofence warrant to say, okay, if we know we had a robbery at this location on this date, and this location at this date, and this other location at this date, let's do a search warrant for those 3 locations at those 3 dates and times and see if there's any person that is in those 3 boxes on all 3 lists.
They're controversial because people's records can be accessed who had nothing to do with a crime, which is why Helmer says investigators should write the warrants as narrowly as possible and only use them when necessary. They would also need to be backed up by other evidence.
You can't have the biggest fishing net and say, I want the whole city of Grand Rapids for this week. Number one, you're going to overwhelm your investigators. But number 2, those people have a reasonable expectation of privacy, and you have no reason to request that wide of a scope.
As technology progresses, the more law enforcement can know about you.
We give up so much privacy by downloading these apps and having these free Facebooks and Snapchats and Twitters that we're essentially all carrying a tracking device in our pockets.
Helmer isn't aware of any geofence warrants executed in Kent County, but they could in the near future.
In the 2000s, it was cell phone tower location information, mapping where people were based on what towers their cell phone were using. It was new. You didn't see a lot of people using it. Now it's commonplace. I think this will be the same.
These warrants are rare, but as they become more prevalent, Helmer expects case law to develop to help prosecutors deal with them. Reporting in Grand Rapids, Carla Byron, 13 on your side.
Phoenix 911, where's your emergency?
North Valley Parkway and 31st Avenue. There was a car collision, and the other people involved in the crash are getting very aggressive with the cops, with the officer. There's only one officer here. The officer has told the dad and the son to back off multiple times, and they're just elevating.
Why 911? Cops are already.
Because he's over there getting aggressive.